to another episode of the DewatchPod podcast. I am Jorgen Smorgasbord.
And I am Jim with a G.
And we're going back to the well, baby.
We're doing something of a special. You could say this is a recap episode, but one with much lower effort, in a lot of ways.
Yeah, one that we could have put in the real hours and watched all of Black Mirror again prepare for this. But dear listeners, what we're doing is we are putting together a little bit of a tier list, and we're not rating Black Mirror episodes on quality.
No, because our very running theme is when we talk about missed potential throughout this show. So we've put together a 4-tier missed potential tier list.
Yeah. And we have a system for this, which is we have sort of archetypal episodes for each of the tiers. The lowest degree of missed potential, sort of the F tier in a way, is the Metalhead 79 tier.
So that's including, of course, our beloved Metalhead and our equally beloved Demon 79.
Yeah, and with this we're getting at sort of the duality of things, because you can both just hit an episode home and
just do what you set out to do and not leave a bunch of lingering idiot friends.
Yeah, and you can do that, but also make a bad episode.
Yeah. The next tier we've decided to call the Be Right Back tier, which is okay, you're doing a main thing here, but there's some stuff here that really seems like, ooh, you could spin this off and make a very different episode out of it.
Yeah, no, it's there's some dangling threads, and you're not going for all of them tier.
Yeah.
And next up, of course, we have the Smithereens tier, where you're still doing something, but there's also just it's like a fraying carpet.
Yeah, you're following the thread, but by the end, you're like, ooh, there's 10% of this individual thread left, and a lot of frayed pieces along the way.
Yeah. And do you want to do the honors?
The final tier, where it all began, kissing your homies on the mouth, but how many homies could you kiss on the mouth? How much is left out there of kissing your homies on the mouth? It's Striking Vipers, our absolute fave.
Yeah, the absolute, highest possible amount of missed potential.
It's where you have an idea and you go through it, and as you go through it, every other path you could have taken would have been more interesting, and there's so many paths on that way.
Yeah, no, where the episode takes on almost a revolutionary form to being sort of an anti-joke.
The least introspective and reflective potential tier.
No, the kind of episode of Black Mirror that has the power to start a podcast.
And those are our broad tiers, and there's going to be a lot of variety in these, and we really want to emphasize that part. This is not equality. This is something very different.
Yeah, and of course we are going to be sort of discussing all of Black Mirrors in this endeavor, and therefore we have to issue a blanket content warning.
Yes.
Because we don't know what we're going to bring up, but it's going to be a lot.
Yeah, everything, if we made the comprehensive content warning list for all of Black Mirror, it would be a lot of entries. So, broadly, anything to do with violence, anything to do with oppression, it's just a lot,
Yeah, no,
Assume that if you have a specific phobia, it will be triggered at some point here.
We're not going to go in depth, of course, because we have to talk about all of the episodes, but it's going to be mentioned. And with that, I think we're ready, and I should say we're as more or less like a mnemonic device for our sake, really. We are going to be doing these in the order that we watch them, because I think otherwise we might just not remember.
Yeah, it'll be a bit of a retread for us in an interesting way as we follow our own path backwards.
Yeah, or forwards.
Yeah. Listen, chronology is really hard on this podcast.
We're going to be re-walking memory lane.
Yeah, in our own unique path. But yes, so on the first on the list here is Joan is Awful, which very broad.
Where it all began.
Very quick summary. Someone gets forcibly a Netflix show about how they're terrible made about them, and over the course of this adventure of trying to unhook themselves from it, we go down a virtual rabbit hole of worlds within worlds and Salma Hayek.
Yeah, who apparently has a double name on the poster.
Jonas Awful is, to me, like, honestly, a bit of a challenge to start with. Because, like, it does a lot. I'm leaning towards the upper side here. Because it is, we've kind of pointed Jonas Awful as, like, kind of an archetypical heist episode of Black Mirror where they're just doing hijinks.
But it is also like fairly high concept, but also very dumb, and
it touches on a lot of things like corporate exploitation and doesn't really delve into it in any depth.
But like it does arrive at something, right? Which is like a fairly like rah rise up, sort of energy. So it's not like void, but it is. It does fall short of what it could be saying.
So I want to say Smithereens here. And in fact, I want to even say it's fairly similar to Smithereens in that way, just broadly speaking.
I mean, I think Smithereens has something more interesting to say.
True.
But yeah, no, I I'm feeling this. Right?
Jonas Awful is a bit of a comedic retread of Smithereens in some ways, and in how it deals with corporations and such.
Exactly.
Moving on, Loch Henry. I think Loch Henry is unambitious. I think it's on the lower end.
Well, like, Loch Henry Okay, so the thing about Loch Henry is that it is a twist episode, right?
True. And quick summary of Loch Henry.
You're gonna do all of these?
It's about a true crime documentary that finds out his mom is the killer.
Yeah.
And his dad, actually.
That is very quick. Yeah, but his dad's dead, so
she sort of good on that.
She lost the luster, really.
Yeah. Like, I mean, we talked a lot about it as this is an episode that says this fucking sucks and I hate it.
Yeah, no, like, it is, like, an episode that is, like, specifically about showbiz. Right? It is, like, about the sort of exploitative nature of showbiz, of true crime. And I feel like, in doing so, like, it is, like, not insubstantive. It's just...
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Right, like, I guess the twist, like, is more for shock value. Because, like, we are, like, he's just, like, going through to his hometown and going, like, alright, I'm going to exploit my hometown for content.
I think, like, when I think about this episode, I don't have a lot of extra questions to follow up the initials, right? Like, there's a part of it where it's, like, it would be interesting to see the other incentives of, like... Because we get a pretty honest true crime documentary out of it, and that's not what true crime is a lot of the time. Yeah,
like, it is some of the time, and, you know, power to those journalists who actually do the journalism.
I would put this personally in Be Right Back tier.
Yeah, I am fully inclined to agree.
Beyond the Sea.
No, I'm going to have difficulty with this one, because this is the memory hole zone for me.
Beyond the Sea is... extremely long, and it's about space astronauts who treat their wives as possessions.
Well, yeah.
And families, probably. So, like, here's the thing. When I think about Beyond the Sea, I think about how much it could have done differently. But it is about patriarchy. And I don't think it goes fully there. But, like, the issues I have with Beyond the Sea are purely, like, what they made, in like, a very practical sense, aka they made very little over a long span of time.
Yeah, no, like, it's very meandering, right? It's, it doesn't, like, it's in this weird place where it's sort of punctuated by these two, like, moments of, like, explosive violence and just a long stretch of nothing in the middle.
Yeah.
And, like, I think it uses that to substitute for substance, right?
Yeah, I would agree. It has the occasional Black Mirror curse of quiet moments with somber music being mistaken for meaning. So honestly, like, I'm leaning towards Be Right Back. Like, there's a fundamental discussion here about, like, gender in the 1960s, essentially, and, like, it just makes that point, kind of, but, like, very inefficiently. And there's not that much more I think it could have done with the concept.
I don't know, like, Be Right Back makes its point a lot more competent. Like, I think this is Smithereens tier. Okay. Right, because it also, like, falls short on the core point. So even though it doesn't have, like, it certainly has, like, sure, it, like, points to other stuff, like, with a lot less vigor, but it also just doesn't, it also misses, like, a fair amount of potential on its main thing.
I can see what you mean, yeah. I'm willing to go with that. Maisie Day! Oh boy.
You said you dreaded this one.
Maisie Day is, I don't want to call it a memory hole for me. It's about a paparazza who becomes a werewolf, and that's just the plot. She hunts a celebrity who becomes a werewolf.
Yeah, and then she kills her with a gun. Oh no, she lets her kill herself.
Yes, and takes the photo at the end.
It does feel very gross.
Yeah, but like, what... It didn't... it's just like... I think this is Metalhead for me. Like, and I think in a very close comparison to Metalhead, where it's like, it doesn't feel like it actually has any point. It's a bit more than Metalhead, for sure. Like, it talks the slightest amount about, like, celebrity culture and exploitation, but it does so shallowly, and it's so overshadowed by werewolf. You know?
Yeah.
Like, it to me, this is a hijinks plot, but serious. Like, and not joyful, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, like, this is like there's not a lot there, and it doesn't execute on it.
This is full Metalhead for me, I think.
For me, this is a bit Be Right Back, because, like, it touches on ideas a bit more, I think. But I'm mulling over that idea.
I think the thing that separates it for me is that the things it touches are so generic and so, like, yeah, paparazzi are bad. Like, that is just agreed upon.
It doesn't, like, look at why she's doing it. Like, she needs money, I guess.
A lot of people need money, and a lot of people are not paparazzi.
Yeah. No, like, it's... Yeah, I'm willing to go with Metalhead 79 tier.
And speaking of, because this is where 79 would go.
Yeah, this is where Demon 79 goes. Why did we pick it for being the archetype for this category?
Because I think this 79 is the one... Demon 79 is the one that fulfills the, like, this is just a complete story. This is a complete story that has its themes just come out properly.
Yeah.
This is about, like, a South Asian woman in the 60s, 70s who has to confront, like, rising...
like, Thatcher's Britain.
Yeah, and has to confront, like, the rising sort of, like, anti-immigration sentiment and racism of the, like, conservative party suddenly. Yeah. And it just, like... When it makes points, it just does it well, and it doesn't feel like it leaves that many threads at all.
Yeah, no, she sees the future, and she's like, burn it down, I guess.
Yeah. So, then we come to Striking Vipers, actually. And oh boy. Striking Vipers, which is about two fellas kissing homies in virtual space. And it's just... Every second of Striking Vipers is filled with so much... Were you gonna go anywhere with this?
Yeah, no, the only swing it does not miss is having an all-black cast, right? Because that's just, like... That's just a neat call.
Yeah.
But everything else is, like, there's clearly, like, so much missed potential here, right? Like, from the, like... Hey, this technology probably, like, is doing a bit more than that to society. To, like, just, like, the themes of, like, being able to inhabit another body.
And being able to explore that. And there we come into any of the gender implications that is brought up and immediately be like, yeah, it's hot being a woman anyway. Like, it's almost fetishistic in that way, right?
Yeah, and, like, I want to, like, reiterate the point that this episode, like, is almost like horseshoe theories to, like, being interesting again, because it is, like, so brazenly uninterested in all the things it touches upon.
It is.
That those things, like, pop by comparison. And you're like, oh, we have, like, the most, like, at peace with his gender and not lock into it at the same time, man. And like that's a fascinating concept to just like have unquestioned in a story.
Yeah, and it's so much like it feels like all the things Striking Vipers uses to incite the plot are just things that could have been their own episodes. You know, like the disaffectation of suburban life versus the like lack of commitment in the Playboy lifestyle, and like how you seek comfort on the internet, which is something that San Junipero talks about a lot better.
Yeah, no,
like
and,
the arbitrariness of attraction. There's so much.
And it's just like the escape into a virtual world, and then like, oh yeah, no, then like, hey, maybe he's going to get like insane about violence, but no, he gets like real weird about sex, but it's not like anonymous sex. It's sex with a specific person, and the gender of that person is in fact quite strange, but that doesn't matter either.
It just completely powers through the implications.
Yeah, no, it just like keeps Kool-Aid manning into like a new thing you like expect it to be doing and then just doesn't.
This is, you know, like it's It's Always Sunny episode where they do the implication, but no one asks what's the implication. They just go like, yeah, okay, and then walk out of frame. So that's Striking Vipers, and we will never get tired of Striking Vipers. Smithereens, I believe, is next, and we talked about it. It's about a man who tries to hostage negotiate his way through being mad.
To be clear, hostage take.
Yeah, sorry, hostage take.
He tells the negotiator to fuck off immediately, which is like a weird bit they're doing with no like apparent depth.
Hostage take his way for being mad at a social media company for, in a very abstract sense, killing his girlfriend, but he's actually at fault for it.
And he like kind of knows that, but he's still like, hey man, I have a bug report to file with a gun, and I don't want to kill anyone, but I do have a lot of feelings. And like it like does barrel through like quite a lot of themes, from like the like unaccountability and idiocy and just fecklessness of CEOs, and at the same time like being subject to sort of social media as like a subject.
Yeah, like there's multiple interesting scenes where they like would, you know, heavily hint towards like, oh shit, the corporations are just like insanely powerful at gathering information.
Yeah.
Anyway, like it talks about even like a little bit about the digital footprint of the love interest's daughter who committed suicide, right? Like there's so many things that are just like left by the wayside. And I think I've grown kinder to Smithereens over time, because I think it actually is interesting, but it is extremely good at gesturing at stuff it will not deal with and leaving you with that ambiguity.
No, and it's an interesting one, right? And I'm like starting to doubt us like making it the namesake for the like a lot of missed potential here, because like it's such a like weird middle ground for being so like it is doing these things kind of on purpose, but like are they the only is this the story you want to tell? You have all these other stories that you're looking at and going like, no, but we're not telling that story.
I think that's why I think this is archetypal, right? Like it's you could debate about how intentional it is, but I think it still ends up here.
Yeah. No, it's a very odd one, because like it does come together just enough to like not be like truly disappointing. Like it has something to say. It's just like it has a lot of things to like. There's a lot of negative space that is like being highlighted.
Yeah. So, moving on to Rachel, Jack, and Ashley 2, the episode that broke our brains when we first watched it.
You wanted to place this one real high.
Yeah, this is straight to Striking Vipers here for me. And quick recap, Rachel, Jack, and Ashley 2 is about two girls who go on a heist to rescue their co-mud pop star from her evil aunt.
And they're going on this heist with their robot, which is a mind copy of that co-mud pop star.
Yeah, so like let me just hit you with like my argument for why this is like top tier of missed potential. The entire first half of the episode seems to be a coming of age story that hits you with like, is pop feminism actually empowering? Like, what is the worth of truth compared to like something that might lift you up out of a dark place? Is being punk actually that revolutionary if you're a 17-year-old who just listens to the Pixies as your most unrelatable band possible. And then it hits you with stuff like, what's up with the music industry? Like, is there, is an artist not fulfilling her own creative dreams but empowering a bunch of people and also just like keeping her family afloat? Is that worth it? There's also evil villain dad who makes his little rat lair with neuroimaging devices.
He's not a villain. He's just sort of absent-minded, weird absent-minded single Disney dad.
He has a villain lair. And also, on the dad part, just like examining the
he has mind transfer software.
Exactly. What's up with that, man? He's just building a little taser cannon rat. His presence is its own like source of missed potential of like, let's examine this man, bit neglectful, bit like absent as a parent, also has gone through like something traumatic and might just not be mentally and emotionally aware of how he's fucking up parenting. Oh, interesting. There's so much.
And then we get fucking T-boned by the robot is alive.
And that too.
And the rat. I had forgotten the Rat Man entirely.
I would never forget the Rat Man. So no, like for me, Rachel, Jack, and Ashley too, I don't think it's quite as emblematic as Striking Vipers, because Striking Vipers just has the pure idiot energy of going through all of these missed potentials.
Yeah, no, this one is very, like, it has a very different feel to it, because, like, Striking Vipers, like, it just, like, barreling, like, from the start. Like, this one, like, does a lot of stuff and then like does a hard left turn.
And I think the difference too is that Striking Vipers is interesting because even as it's barreling, it feels like it wants to be sophisticated and thinking about things as it's doing an like infidelity plot line in the most standard way.
Yes. Ennui and infidelity, the most mature story.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, it's definitely up there if you put it like that. Like, the second half, however, like, is just, like, that, they do more, like, missed potential just on account of, like, hey, here's mind-copying technology. Yeah. But that one, like, I do file more under, like, uninterested in technology. But yeah, no, like, we do raise all these like questions that are like genuinely salient, and then we don't bother with them anymore because that's not the episode, because we do just like switch to a far less introspective approach.
That's one way to put it. So now Rachel, Jack, and Ashley 2 is almost emblematic. It's just a bit more odd about how it, because like Striking Vipers, as you said, like it just idiots its way through everything. Rachel, Jack, and Ashley 2 has half where it sets up a bunch of cool stuff and then half where it barrels through it with the rat van.
Yeah. And it does also like enter more territories ever so briefly.
That's true.
And then discard them in that part.
So going back to season 4 now, USS Callister, which I think you just have more emotions on than I do.
I mean, honestly, Callister 1 is hard to think of at this point because Callister 2 does just like overwrite a fair amount.
Yeah.
But like thinking back on it, right? This is an episode that is deeply interested in nostalgia, and it like uses Star Trek of all things as a like emblem for like bad nostalgia, even though like Star Wars is the one that has like all the like male nerds who harass like any woman of color who gets cast into their favorite franchise.
I think specifically like the thing about it is that the episode uses Star Trek as an example of regressive nostalgia,
yes.
Right?
And like it's, I don't think it makes its point that well.
No, it sets up like a villain, and like I think if we were going to delve, if this episode was going to pursue these things a bit more deeply, it would actually talk about like how does nerd culture end up this way sometimes.
Yeah,
right?
No, like I guess it's hard to talk about it without Callister 2, right? Because Callister 2 like at least does like the little bit of the added service of going like, well, he wasn't always like this, but he had these tendencies. Yeah. But like we never see the journey, right? We we just see like the sort of like fucking Harvey Dent shit he's doing, where he's like this sort of like meek weirdo at the office, and then he logs onto like his fucking torture chamber and is like, all right, everyone has to play along in my fantasy adventure. And
simultaneously, what I want to say is that I feel like the first use as Callister doesn't say much beyond that. Like, it doesn't seem interested much beyond that either, right?
Yeah, no, it's not interested in like the journey, and because like him having money is completely irrelevant in the like first Callister.
Yeah.
Right? Wealth doesn't play, like, we don't know how he got this bad.
He doesn't have power over people in the office by like the text of the episode, right?
Yeah.
So to me this is a be right back tier.
Yeah, like it's a really weird one.
Shall we move on?
Yeah.
Archangel. Mom gets anxiety-enabling machine to check on her daughter at all times and becomes very anxious and uses it badly.
Yeah, no, like, this is where we repeat one of this podcast's pieces of advice. You don't need to know.
Archangel, I think this might be controversial. I kind of want to put it in the Metalhead 79 tier.
Yeah.
Like, there are other paths you could have gone down, but I think, like, those are fairly mutually exclusive with one another, right? Like, because one of the things about Archangel is, like, the idea that, like, Mom tries to use this, realizes, oh, this isn't good, and then puts it away, and we get, like, a fairly normally developing child. And you could have gone the other way, where she doesn't put it away, and you get a super sheltered child. But those are mutually exclusive concepts, and I think neither is bad to go down.
Yeah, there is, like, the sort of, like, other implication that they shut down, like, weird style by going, like, this is banned by the UN now. Like, what a society where this is more prevalent would look like. And I think that's a bit of a bigger one to, like, forego. Because, like, that is what we're actually dealing with. We're dealing with a society where everyone has the anxiety device.
Any mental issue you have, you can exacerbate it via various apps, I promise.
I read an article the other day that 20% of people here just, like, are, like, location tracking their spouse.
I saw, like, an insane post recently somewhere online about how someone's friends would get mad if they disabled location tracking. And that stunned me.
Like, here's the thing, like, if you have a healthy relationship, I guess then you, like, have talked it through, like, I guess it's just, like, convenient to know.
But you should have the option.
Yeah, no, it's, like, they, like, interviewed one couple, and she was like, oh, yeah, no, I know, like, when my partner is going to come home so I can, like, start making lunch. And, like, like, I guess surveillance just, like, really, like, doesn't have to cut all the way. You can just, like, be normal about it.
You can just text them, like, hey, honey, I'll be home in 30 minutes.
Yeah, no, it is just, like, this bizarre juxtaposition of, like, oh, yeah, no, we're being extremely normal about this, like, high surveillance we're imposing on each other. And, like, obviously we wouldn't, like, you know, stalk each other. It's just nice to know.
So in the context of this tier list, maybe the issue with Archangel is actually that it kind of flinches at expanding the concept.
I mean, it's a difficult one, right? Because, like, it's a weird companion to the entire history of you, and the entire history of you, like, does do that, and it is just like, oh, no, it's just this guy. Right?
That's true.
It is. But I think, like, sort of between the two of them, like the absence of, like, maybe this has social consequences, actually, like, is more, like, glaring. And, like, I do want to give it, like, a little bit of a, like, bump for that, because, like, that is just, like, a thing that they are, like, shutting down, that, like, you don't have to do much with it, just, like, put in some world building.
I think that's fair. I think that might be enough to earn it. It's be right back tier.
Yeah.
Crocodile. In my opinion, the funniest episode, maybe alongside Striking Vipers in the entire catalog. Crocodile, So here's the issue with Rankin Crocodile. It has an insanely cool concept.
Yeah, the memory dredge
is like maybe like top 3 things Black Mirror have invented in terms of like coolness and how much you could see the story out of it,
and
they don't care.
Nothing else. It's a weird one because they don't care, but they also have nothing else going on in that episode, right? And the episode is driven by her like straight up like prompted by this being a fucking option.
Yeah.
Right? Like, sure, she does one murder, but like without the memory dredge, she could just stop.
Yeah.
But no, she is just like, well, I need to like kill all like even just like slight witnesses. And it is so fundamentally driving to the episode, and it's yet at the same time so deeply unexamined because people aren't like that like uncomfortable with it. Like they're not doing that much unreliability of memory. We're just like gesturing at it once and then just going on from there.
Yeah, I think this also just like the thing about Archangel is like, Crocodile is that like this is a job people do. They go around memory dredging people for insurance claims. And you have to imagine that if you're like, hey, this is a job where you have just like a 10% chance on any job to uncover like the mafia.
Or just like just someone's like deep personal stuff. Right?
Or just like any random like domestic dispute that would be bad to come out in public. Like, you'd want these people to have like a shotgun on them, just in case.
Yeah, no, or just like give them like an explosive vest and an instant kill switch in case their pulse stops. Just so you have to like, if you want to take them out, you need like a long range sniper rifle. Like it's completely wild, right? This is, first of all, no social implications, right?
Yeah.
There's just people walking around with this and it's mundane.
2, it seeds the idea of unreliability of memory, reinforces it once, and then it just completely fizzles out.
Yeah, and we're not even like dealing with the like intimate intrusion that this presents. Like, people are just kind of like a little bit uncomfortable and then sort of settle in.
Yeah.
And like if you like focused more on it, that could be your thesis, that like people like sort of adapt to stuff. But that's not the thesis. The thesis is like, oh man, this lady like really just was one bit away from just being a serial killer.
And the mechanics of the plot could have been done without the memory dredge, right?
Yeah.
Like, she could have been like, oh, like, I killed this woman, but wait, that's a wedding band on her finger. Oh, her husband probably knows where she is. I have to go kill the husband.
Yeah.
Done. Memory dredge unnecessary. Like, there's even a little bit, and this isn't like a big thing, but early on, it's implied that like the memory dredge is not that like flawless, and you have to use some like, you probably smelled this to help jog your memory, or like, this piece of music that was on when this thing happened, let me use that to help jog your memory, and it's just completely dropped.
Yeah, no, they could just straight up like have a cop like manufacturing a confession in the dredge, and they just don't. Like,
no one ever calls into question like, hey, can you actually use this for evidence?
Yeah, so like, how far in this tier list can you rise on the strength of like a single utterly unexplored concept?
I would posit you can get very far. Like, I am bordering Striking Vipers territory here.
Yeah, I'm on the edge between Striking Vipers and Smithereens zone.
I think it's just like, I think the combination of them just completely disregarding the thing they're talking about and how much potential it has.
Yeah.
For me, it sets it up for Striking Vipers.
Like, they don't they just don't focus on it that much is my problem. Like, there is like they barrel through like one like huge thing, but they don't not do other stuff, right? There's not enough screen time spent on missed things, I guess, to me. That's
difficult.
But I guess Smithereens is just like, Smithereens like gets to more stuff, so I think I'm coming around. Yeah, no, like there is like a deep emptiness at the heart of this story that like does put it up there for me.
Hang the DJ, our young adult story about two people in the dating machine who then turn out to be in a different dating machine in a twist ending.
Yeah.
There's not that much to hang the DJ. I think it says some interesting stuff, but I don't think there's that much they miss out on covering. I think there are different stories you could write about dating apps. But in this, the way it posits it, and I'm kind of ignoring the twist ending because I just think that's just like creatively bankrupt, quite frankly. I don't know. I don't think there's that much to it.
I mean, let's see. Like, they are basically like, they're in an environment that is like set up to like check like how hard they fall for each other.
Yeah. We talked a little bit about this, that like you suggested like, oh, like if you actually want to test this, you should try a long-term relationship, not like a couple of one-night stands here and there and then like a 2-week relationship here and there.
Thank you for remembering that.
You're welcome. No, but like it's something that like did stand out to me when we were talking about it. Like, this is a very strange, like, what are you actually testing for? Because like, I'm gonna be real with you, if you're testing for sexual chemistry, that I don't think that needs to be tested for.
I think, to be fair, I think we can give them like a weird accidental point of like actually hitting something like quite profound by going like, oh yeah, no, we have this app that like extremely like hardcore optimizes for like something that is easily numerically trackable.
Right.
I.e., do these people escape the simulation or not?
That's true.
And that's just like if it had been like 50-50 and like we just like in the second half just like move through this world where all these people are just like turned onto the one person that they will like upturn their life for, and then just like follow like one or two of those stories and just like and look at the like what it entails to have a perfect technology for finding someone that you will upturn your life for, unlike a 72 hours contact base, but no like further information than that. Like, that would have been like that would have been fascinating, and it does just like get a point for going like accidentally hitting like extremely weird metric energy, because that is basically what has like cooked the internet to a large degree.
That is fair, but is that about potential?
A little bit, right? Because it is just like talking about this, like the twist is just straightforwardly like positing like an insane idea and then going like, anyway, that's not my problem.
Imagine if people made serious decisions based on this extremely specific metric.
Yeah, or like, I guess just like there's always the ethics of like simulating millions of people or whatever.
Where would you place it on this tier list? I'm leaning a bit B right back, because I think it's a fairly simple story at the core of it.
Well, the trouble is that it doesn't have a core, right? And with the others, we're like, how much is the core doing, right? And like, not having a core like tends to place you very highly.
Yeah, you're not wrong, but it's I think also like the issue for me just like ranking this is that like dating apps have been such like an immensely accessible thing to do think pieces about, right?
Yeah.
So like I feel like it's one of those areas that's like, hey, everything has been said at this point. And that was probably less true when this episode was made.
Yeah, I think it is like an attempt to say something weird about dating apps, and I don't know what it's saying, and I don't think it's saying it well. So just like, for not saying anything like substantive about dating apps when that was probably still more valuable to do, I think I would about a bit to smithereens.
It is a lost opportunity on kind of a meta level, isn't it?
Yeah, no, there's just like so much going on with like you just like dating apps are worth talking about, right? Like, think about any fucking technology that is like rewriting the way social relations work. Like, dating apps are like really up there.
Yeah, and it should be in the wheelhouse of Black Mirror.
Yeah, and yet like
and yet
this is like is this the only attempt?
On dating apps, I think so.
Hot damn, right?
I think it's too late now, genuinely.
I mean, maybe. Like, this is kind of like in history, we are just like kind of at the point where like we should probably do some studies about what that has wrought.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Metalhead. It's a story about a woman being chased by a robot dog, and we're done.
Yeah, no, she dies in the end. The robot dog gets her.
Yeah, and that's why it's in the bottom one.
Yeah,
I genuinely think I'm done.
It's an apocalyptic story about an implied apocalypse that's not very interesting.
And it doesn't care about the apocalypse apart from the fact that there's a monster.
Yeah,
right? Like it's the equivalent of like if you made a zombie movie where there's zombies and you kill them and then you go to the grocery store and pick up your stuff and go home to your loving like.
And it doesn't do anything with that idea in a number of ways, right? Because, like, yes, we all know how zombies work. Like, we have that cultural vocabulary. We all know how, like, Skynet works. We have that cultural vocabulary. What this episode is clearly putting down is that, like, Amazon delivery robots went Skynet.
Yeah.
And that's it.
You have so much cultural build-up and then being like, and that's Terminator.
Yeah, that would be bad, huh? I guess, dude.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I'll come back to that opinion. Black Museum, our finale of season 4. It's an anthology thing about technology that has caused pain or virtual health, and then it's also a story about institutional racism, kind of.
Yeah, and about revenge, and about having your mom in your head because she's dead otherwise or something.
Black Museum is like... It's not the first thing I would think about when it comes to missed potential in Black Mirror, but it's up there. Like, if I brainstormed for a couple of seconds, it would pop up, you know? Like, it has such a weird structure, where you have the first story, which is, like the first little anthology story is written by Penn Jillette, and is a competent, interesting little story that is just fully complete.
Yeah, now, what if someone got their, like, pain and pleasure rewired?
And then the next anthology story is about what if a couple made the worst possible decisions about their privacy, and you go, yes, that would be bad, and the anthology episode goes, it would be bad, and we go, yeah, we know, that's what happened. And then the last story is Charlie Brooker discovers institutional racism, and
what is the last like anthology story that's not the overarching narrative?
It is just like the story about this alleged killer. I put him in an eternal torture machine and sold him to white supremacists.
There really isn't more to it.
No, it's very... Well, I don't think they mentioned it. I think she, like our protagonist, who is the alleged killer's
there's
daughter.
I think the white supremacists come in quite late, right? When the museum starts running like on fumes.
Yeah, but I do believe this is, by the way, the episode of The Devil.
Our favorite guy.
I think so, yeah. I think he fulfills his potential.
Yeah.
Up until maybe the end, where he's a bit like nothing, but
I think this is a really odd episode for this tier list, because if anything, like, it aspires to, like, it's pretentious, right? It's pretending to be more than it is, and like that almost earns it negative points in my book.
Yeah, like, it's one of those things where it tries to critique itself and its viewer base, but it doesn't know why people watch Black Mirror, because it hits you with the, like, you just watch for the gore and the tragedy, and people are like, my favorite episode is San Junipero, because the lesbians get to live together happily forever.
I mean, people don't watch Black Mirror sadistically.
No, like, that's the thing.
It's like they want to suffer, they want to feel bad, right? You watch Black Mirror, like, the average Black Mirror watcher watches Black Mirror to have a bad time and go like, oh man, that says so much about how the internet and phones are making things worse. And it's like, well, kind of. Good that you're paying attention to that.
Black Museum thinks that Black Mirror is like a gladiatorial arena where it's much more about, like...
Well, it alleges.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think that belief, like, has that much, like, heft.
No. Whereas, like, I think if you're going to make a critique, I think it would be much more on the, like, martyrdom side of things, of the, like, I think something like Hated in the Nation makes this point more interestingly about, like, seeking out things that make you sad.
Yeah. No, I think, like, I think this is straight up, like, a Metalhead episode to me.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, like, I just don't think, like, I think, like, it's doing, like, a few things competently, and, like, I guess it is just, like, a bad critique of Black Mirror.
I think, like, yeah, it misses its fundamental mark, but then there's also the fact that, like, I think the Penn Jillette story is where, like, the potential is missed, because that sounded really interesting if you were going to follow it up, and then they don't follow it up. But that is maybe a more specific critique.
I guess just, like, for, like, not critiquing itself well, it's, like, you could have done a good critique of Black Mirror, but you would have to probably be a communist to do it.
I think
like, straightforwardly, right?
I think this ends up in Be Right Back for me.
Yeah,
like,
no, I'm happy with that.
Like, it's just a little bit too not willing to pursue any real paths, and it doesn't throw out that much. Bandersnatch. Okay, Bandersnatch is really hard to summarize and really hard to analyze in this context.
It's the video game where you are the malevolent psychic force that is, like, moving a young man to, like, down a bad life path, and you are functionally, like, acting as this guy's schizophrenia until, like, he, like, either breaks out or just, like, goes off the rails.
So Bandersnatch to me is a little bit about the same thing that Black Museum tries to do, about, like, sort of the impulse to watch people suffer.
Yeah.
But it like the thing is, Bandersnatch enforces that. If you get our boy to not go insane and also to not play video games, both equally important pursuits, you get an ending.
Yeah, the winning move is not to play, and the game is like, yeah, no, he's fine. It's but that's not the story you're here for.
So, like, this, I don't think Bandersnatch intends to critique Black Mirror, but it talks about the thing Black Museum wants to talk about.
Yeah, it talks about the need for stories to have tension, and that like, creates some weird biases in, like, what gets talked about.
Yeah, like, it's, if anything, I think Bandersnatch is, like, kind of critiquing, like, it's Spec Ops The Line, right? Like, it's critiquing video games in a weird way. The stories.
Like, I don't know, like, well, it is, and it's, like, doing interesting things with the format, like, but, like, I don't see it, like, missing the mark, right? This is, like,
so either.
Like, this is just, like, an interesting idea well executed.
I would tend to agree. Like, I don't think Bandersnatch is perfect, and I think it's, I've criticized it in the past for schizophrenia portrayal, but that's not, like, that doesn't come into the question of, like, does it miss its potential? It has some dumb options that are just kind of annoying, quite frankly.
Yeah, no, like, it gets masturbatory at points.
Yeah. And I think, like, I've even read about this semi recently. There's some stuff we missed that seems even more masturbatory.
Yeah, which...
Fair enough.
Hopefully that is just hard to find, so people don't see it.
No, I think I agree that, like, I think Bandersnatch, I like Bandersnatch. I don't think it's great, but I think it does what it sets out to do pretty well.
No, like, it's like, it is just like we approve of format experiments.
Absolutely, and it does it interestingly. And it like comments on itself in a masturbatory but fun way, as masturbation should be.
Yeah, no, like, this is the lowest tier. There's not much here that, like, goes undone.
Yeah, you did pretty good, Bandersnatch.
Yeah. Good job, Charlie.
And I think perhaps that is about where we're gonna start closing down this first half of the tier list.
Hot damn, I had completely lost track of time.
I was keeping track of it, and I figured, like, season 4 plus Bandersnatch was a good cutoff.
Yeah.
We still have season 3, 2, 1, and 7 to go through.
That's right.
This is I've been really enjoying this.
We'll close up real quick. And see you next week for the second half of this.
See you next week.